uh, the geometric method. What was that? Page 44. It must be mentioned that in no wise did Spinoza make it easy for them or anyone else to absorb him, and as it were to digest him. His method of presentation, the famous exposition more geometrico, which he employed long before his ethics, and a double purpose and a double effect, had a double purpose and a double effect. To assure to the point of self-evidence that which was to be grasped, and to exclude with the hardness of glass any emotional impulses or other confusions which might creep into his thinking. We have today considered this very feature of Spinoza's intellectual physiognomy bound to his period and transitory. We know with that passion his epoch flung itself upon play with mathematical forms, and also to what extent it widened the frontiers of this science, and what the name of Newton meant to that epoch. And although we cannot escape the aesthetic enjoyment contained in his geometrical play, and although, furthermore, we can appreciate fully the impulse, in troubled and fermenting times, to obtain impregnable intellectual results by this application of one single principle, mathematical logical reasoning, we must spare the modern reader this geometric method, transmitting Spinoza's thoughts as they appear outside of it. This is possible because we are concerned to exhibit not Spinoza's philosophy in all its circuitousness, and wholly bound to its own times, but only that which can set the modern man in motion. Spinoza is a dogmatic spirit. His purpose is to overwhelm his reader. To him the important thing is beginning with as few principles and definitions as possible, to set up a flawless structure of thought in which one thing goes back to another, as in the sign of the macrocosm of Dr. Faust. How it all weaves into one whole, one working and living in the next. How heavenly forces go upward and down, passing the golden pails from hand to hand. He must have spent years of absorption in inward looking and finding the points of departure for his basic principles, then further years of constant turning about of his fields of intuition before he got at the secret of their structure. If we do not follow him in this field, these attributions, relations, and proofs seem like scaffoldings, or like those auxiliary hypotheses through which the mathematicians finally arrive at valid results in calculation. As an example of his definitions, let us take the following sentences. By that which is self-caused, I mean of that which the essence involves existence, or of that of which the nature is only conceivable as existent, concerning God, or by body I mean a mode which expresses in a certain determinate manner the essence of God, in so far as he is considered as an extended thing that was out of the nature and origin of the mind. If these sentences are simply flung off to be understood in the everyday sense, they seem almost like empty sound, or like scholastic juggling with ideas. But if we remember how God and nature are same to Spinoza, so that everything being, nay, the universe is included in it, then the first sentence means that this universe is the cause of itself, and that it can be imagined only as existing, not as evoked, created out of a condition in which it was not. And the second sentence then shows that the nature of God is reflected in every existing object, in so far as the object shares by its fundamental characteristic of extent in the extensiveness of the cosmos. These two examples are taken from the beginning of the first and second book of Spinoza's Ethics, of which the first treats of God, the second of nature and origin of the mind. But since both these books of the Ethics would have to be paraphrased and explained in this fashion, sentence by sentence, we shall leave them aside in the present edition. By this geometric method, this crafty, painful, and profound positing of principles and definitions, the whole apparatus of attributes and modi, or forms of being, Spinoza fights his way from methods of medieval to those of modern scientific thinking. And if to us his theses seem now patently true, but then again mere emergency structures and shadowboxing, it is nevertheless our duty not to lose sight of his whole enormous exertion, his struggle to put by the side of the unified and complete world in which we live an equally unified structure of comprehension, to portray or reflect existing intellectuality, and thus to make it digestible, transparent to the human intellect, just as it is the task of the world of art to make the life of existence of human society transparent to the emotions.